Hello, we are from Group 4 will be representing about the river pollutions at Sungai Gong, Selangor. Our group member is first Ahmad Lukfi Nul Hakim bin Muhammad Asman will be representing about the suggestions. Amir Alfian bin Anwar Ahmad will be representing regarding the introductions. Stacy Sherilyn Simon will be representing regarding the lesson learned. And lastly, Siti Nurmahira binti Jamaluddin will be representing about the details of our issues.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Okay, for the introduction for this title, which is according to M. Romeo, Singh Esha Gupta 2016, which is page 1, water is one of the renewable resources necessary for the preservation of all forms of life, food production, economic growth, and general well-being for most of the use. It is impossible to replace, difficult to depolluted, costly to transport, and it is truly a unique gift from nature to humanity. As it is capable of division, transport, storage, and recycling, water is also one of the most manageable natural resources. All these properties, water is great meaning to the human being. The most delicate element of the ecosystem that is critical for human and industrial growth is water. In the last few decades, demand for fresh water has risen immensely due to an increase in population and rapid growth in industrialization. This is based on ISA and GIMO 2020. Okay. According to Chakabi and Saki Zadesh 2016, at the same time of the rate of deterioration of fresh water due to anthropogenic activity is coupled with the ever-increasing demand for water supply. The country's surface water and groundwater supply play a key role in irrigation, hydropower generation, livestock production, and industrial production. Activities forestry, fishing, navigation, recreation, and etc. The world freshwater habitat contain just around 0.5% of the Earth's surface area and have a volume of 2.8 of 115 km per cubic. River represent an insignificant quantity, 0.1% of the land area. Just 0.01% of the Earth's water are found in the river channel. In spite of this limited amount, flowing waters are immense significance. According to Bernama 2020, all contamination from factory on September 3 triggered the suspension of 4 Sungai Selangor water treatment plant LRA phase 1, 2 and 3 and Rantau Panjang. In Sungai Gong Rawang, organic solvent may be the cause of sources of odor emission, causing the halting of Loji Rawatan Air (LRA) as if it's made of organic matters. The industrial solvent used in the maintenance of heavy machinery has a strong odor, causing the contamination in river. The contamination of Sungai Gong caused 1.2 million users and 5 million users to experience disturbance in water supply in 7 regions across the Klang Valley. Our objective is to discuss the factor, effect, and suggestion of river pollution at Sungai Gong.
In Malaysia, the manufacturing sector is the second largest contributor to GDP at 26.2%. It is the main source of employment with total employment rate of 28.4%. This sector continues to propel the economy forward through synergistic relationships with others such as trading, financial, transportation, and services. Therefore, it is without any doubt that the manufacturing sector is one of the most important drivers of Malaysia's economic growth. However, there is growing global concern about the ever-increasing environmental degradation due to this economic activity which become the source of water pollution. For example, on September 5, 2020, the media reports say the vehicle maintenance factory allegedly poured used industrial oil into drains that flowed into Sungai Gong, Selangor, which is one of the rivers where its water is treated and later piped to homes, industries, and offices. Due to this human activity, 4 water treatment plants in Selangor were shut down on September 3, 2020, which affect the 1.2 million consumer accounts as the river being polluted. Added to that, Astro Awani observations found dozens of small and large factories operating along Sungai Gong and Sungai Selangor. Because of this situation, as contended by the water quality and modeling expert, Dr. Zaki Zainuddin, the existing factories should not be allowed to expand their operations as it risks pollution, whereby water pollution has a dual effect on nature. It has negative effect on the living and also on the environment. The effects of pollution on human beings and aquatic communities are many and varied. Water pollution leads to damage to human health. Disease-carrying agents such as bacteria and viruses are carried into the surface and groundwater. Drinking water is affected and health hazards result. Besides that, direct damage to plants and animals' nutrition also affect human health. Plants' nutrients including nitrogen, phosphorus, and other substances that support the growth of aquatic plant life could be in excess, causing algal bloom and excessive weed growth. This makes water to have odor, taste, and sometimes color. Ultimately, the ecological balance of a body and water is altered.
Hello everyone, my name is Ahmad Lufi. I will continue with our suggestion. The government should immediately provide a best solution to curb water pollution happen again in Sungai Gong. Based on our discussion, we found several suggestions that can be used to overcome this issue. The suggestion also based on our reading on a newspaper and article journal.
The first suggestion is the government agency and authorities should control industrial development process properly. This is because along the Gong River there are many factories and industries set up that will have endangered the Gong River, and some factories are dangerous to build near river. Local authorities need to restructure illegal or unorganized industrial settlement because the pattern of industrial erasure scattered and operating illegally in the Gong River area has made it difficult to control water pollution. It is very important for these industrial zones to be placed far away from water sources. Therefore, it may curb industrial hazardous materials into a river, especially area of water resources. However, according to Dr. Zaki Zainuddin, other way of relocating existing factories is the authorities need to identify high-risk industries and control development of such factory. It is because that factory clearly should not be allowed to be operating and expand their operation that will risk of pollution. The government agency and local authority should review the development approval application process properly to identify the high-risk premises rated near water sources. The authority should identify to high-risk premises that cannot be near the river area and able to make a list to overcome this problem from the beginning. Second suggestion is the national legal system need to be stricter to environmental criminal and rate of chemical release into the river. According to Mustafa 2020, punishment must be stringent to meet the seriousness of offences like mandatory prison, whipping, and stop manufacturing factories or ban them from business if a serious pollution is considered responsible. On other hand, according to Dr. Zaki Zainuddin, the national legal system needs to be stricter and need to enhance monitor in relation to the rate of ammonia release into a river, which is industry, every industry allow to pass as ammonia below a rate of 10 mg into a river. The law also must cover environmental risk provision, including risk of damage and risk to public health from cluster in the riverside industry, which is provide a contagious plans on emergency. Third suggestion is enhancing wastewater control, which is reducing dangerous material into a river. The government agency and local authority need to establish centralized waste treatment system for industry and efficient irrigation system. The implementation of centralized industry treatment system is expected to improve the efficiency of industry waste management, thus enhancing the quality of water resources in the country. According to Dr. Zaki Zainuddin, centralized industry treatment system is to ensure every factor comply with the standard of discharge of waste into the river, and monitoring of the authority and government agency become easier. The system can also help to detect and impose action of factories that have committed illegal wastage. However, Malaysia has not yet implemented a centralized industry treatment system, and currently its factory has own wastewater treatment system and met difficulty to control their standard. Thank you for watching.
Overall, we discover that industrial sector is responsible for the release of a wide range of pollutants and hazardous substances through wastewater, pollutions and leachings of industrial installations. The accidental release of hazardous industrial contaminations into freshwater is increasingly threatening the environment, particularly in a country where industry safety regulations are vague or missing. We put further focus on the needs for the government agency and authorities to be aware and accountable for addressing the problem of the river pollutions in Sungai Gong in order to ensure the sustainability of clean water supplies.
Ini bukan kali pertama dan penduduk di Lembah Kelang, mereka sekali lagi berdepan dengan masalah gangguan bekalan air tidak berjadual.
Malah ada di antara mereka yang menganggap kerajaan negeri gagal menangani krisis air dengan baik, termasuk tindakan penguatkuasaan yang lemah ke atas mereka yang bertanggungjawab di atas punca pencemaran.
Kalau nak cakap betul-betul, memang tak puas hati dengan kerajaan Selangor ni. Dah berapa kali. Biasanya Selangor juga jadi mangsa. Tengok tiba-tiba nari pula tak ada air.
Above all, the suggestions on solving the river pollution will be ineffective and efficient if the governments of Malaysia itself have their own issues in realizing those actions. For example, according to Saimi and Yusuf 2013, in Malaysia, water management overlaps between federal and state government, which do not centralize water resources management and development. In reality, they have become fractured due to the varied applications of policy and legislation. Muhammad 2020 suggested that the issues surrounding Selangor water crisis should be resolved by providing a systematic approach, provided that Malaysia does not have any central water resource management agency that leads to overlapping or competing objective and duplicates effort. Therefore, we can see that Malaysia need to have a standardized regulations and guideline. According to the National Hydraulic Research Institute of Malaysia, NAHRIM, stated that there is no agency have been entrusted with responsibility for integrated management and development of water resources. Besides, based on their research, the federal and the state government agency are responsible for the implementations of water resources management tasks in Malaysia, where water is a matter for the state government agency for their operations, maintenance, and for constructions of water infrastructure, while federal government agencies are responsible for the study, planning, and developments of water resources. The overlapping jurisdictions in Malaysia can cause ineffective of the government agency in mobilizing their resources to control the water pollutions. Moreover, the river pollutions in Malaysia is difficult to solve as the water management in the nation is too decentralized, which causes too many agencies dealing with the problem, such as state, federal, and even local authorities. As a result of this situation, the Malaysian government has begun to point finger and seeking a solutions to the river pollutions. Therefore, in order for the government to be effective and successfully in combating river contaminations, the fragmentations of jurisdictions, authorities, power, and lack of specific statutory provision as well as policy and guideline must be resolved first.